You're listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast.
You're listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast. My name is Sean Wilkie, and along with my awesome co-host, we interview the innovators in this space every week. Ivan, please get us started.
I'm Ivan Zach, and I'm excited to introduce James Merchant. James is a co-founder of ClinicWise, a platform transforming how veterinary clinics manage client communication and specialty workflows. He's grown up around vets his entire life, from earning pocket money cleaning cages as a kid to building software that now supports some of the busiest veterinary hospitals in North America. With a background in technology and business strategy, James brings a practical, grounded approach to solving the operational challenges clinics face every day. At ClinicWise, he leads growth and product direction, working closely with veterinary teams to build tools that reduce admin overload, improve patient care, and make clinic life less chaotic. James, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Ivan. Cheers for the intro.
Tell us all about ClinicWise. What does it actually do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we're a piece of software that sits on top of practice management systems. Our goal from day one has been to streamline customer communication, reduce the workload on front of house teams, but also provide a really good customer experience by bringing new technology that they're seeing across other industries and really kind of just simplifying a lot of that client patient kind of check-in communication process.
So tell me more about it. And you've been running this through the advancement of AI, right? So a lot of the companies, I'm very interested how they exist pre-AI, and then when AI kicks in, lots of stuff that probably immediately came into the portfolio of features and what you could accomplish. So can you tell us about that journey and what the feature set is like compared to what it was pre-Chat GPT and others?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, quite interesting, probably. So we started off like V1 of our product, and we were under a different name, so we renamed to ClinicWise just this year. But we were a chatbot specifically for veterinary hospitals. So it would be custom content loaded for each veterinary clinic, veterinary hospital to talk about their services, FAQs, any specific information that they wanted loaded in. And that was kind of our V1. So utilizing technology that we're seeing across other industries. What we've since brought in, and I think where we've really made the connection, is the deep integrations into the practice management system, and then looping in AI to start solving some of those, key workflows like patient intakes, client communication, client education, integrated online bookings, and things like that. And just making sure we're keeping up with technology advancements, bringing in the right models, making sure it's all specific and curated to each, veterinary practice. Some of the content that we can put in now is super awesome. So it's, could be a piece around osteoarthritis, and specific to that clinic, where it can be chatting to a customer about specific issues, about patients, their pet health, things like that. And then the idea is that it will always lead back to the clinic. So promoting bookings or connecting with the team in that sense.
So can you tell me, because, we're on the podcast, so just to give it a little bit of a visual or feel effect to the customer, what is a clinic and specific name the role I can stop doing so your software does it for me?
Yeah, so I suppose the area we're targeting is the front of house process. So a lot of the communication around, the receptionist or the CSR and the client, what we see is a lot of 8 out of 10 inquiries for a lot of often for the same thing that's easy to solve, simple to answer. So if we're able to provide that technology for customers to access that 24/7, quickly chat with a digital assistant, find the information they need, then lead to a booking, that's sort of the client experience we're trying to create. We're not trying to replace the staff. We're just trying to automate a lot of key conversations so that they can do more with their time, the staff, and actually focus on what really matters, which is the client patient care. We're just trying to streamline the communication process where it makes sense and give the customers access to that information, from any device, from their website, 24/7.
Seems that makes tons of sense. I mean, there's lots of other players in your space. What makes you guys unique? What's your secret sauce?
That's a really good question. It's something that we've been aware of since day one. One of the big things that I think is important about ClinicWise is that we're founded by veterinarians. We build our software and really in conjunction with clinics and what they're wanting to see. And we've always tried to create a better customer journey for the pet parents. and a simplified experience for the veterinary clinic as well. So a lot of the technology we bring in and what we've done with the software has been designed to streamline pet owner education. So we're able to load bespoke content into our software, our digital assistants that customers can find, if information that's educational, it can talk to them about their pets, certain health diseases, that sort of information, which you don't see with a lot of other systems, and it's hard to access. So we're kind of providing that experience and also really deeply integrating into practice management software. So that's something that we've actually seen a really positive impact with. There's a lot of systems out there, that sit on top of practice management software that aren't necessarily deeply integrated. And we've found real success with kind of building deep integrations and connecting the customer and the clinic through that.
When you guys look at your usage data and, understand how your customers are actually using your product, what are the one or two top use cases that people are getting a lot of mileage out of?
Yeah, some of the biggest usage, online bookings is one. It's always going to be a big driver for clinics. It's heavily adopted in the pet industry, but still it's only just scratching the surface. But another one is our pre and post appointment communication. So our software we can send out the reminders to customers that would say, "Hey James, Fluffy's due for this vaccination." When a customer then communicates with the digital assistant, it can take pre-appointment or collect pre-appointment histories. It can ask post-surgical follow-up questions. That's all curated and sent back to the front of house team and into the practice management software. And that can be loaded educational information. So, hey, did you want to learn more about osteoarthritis? We noticed Fluffy's at this age. Information like that. So it's a lot of pre and post appointment communication and kind of collecting that and reducing the amount of phone calls the front of house team are having to make, but also giving the customer the opportunity to answer these questions, get back to the clinic from their couch, after work when the clinic's perhaps closed. So kind of providing a better experience there.
What if the one clinic's KPI or multiple that will change? So there was always a question when we put, age of smart flow, for example, people would always be like, okay, what's improving? We're telling them you will be able to capture more charges, and it was the percentage of capture. So what is the number that clinics can monitor? Is it the conversion from the contact to booking? Is it just overall number? Is it the check size that increases? What do you think the clinics it will be like a palpable effect before and after ClinicWise implementation?
Yeah, so I mean, with our software, there's a few different key metrics. Obviously, online bookings, it's you really want to have the data there that proves that how many new customers are you bringing in, existing customers, bookings outside of business hours. So with that, you can kind of put an estimate on revenue generated or new revenue generated for the clinic. But then a lot of these digital, or what we call the smart questionnaires, digital forms, things like that our software can do, you put to it a kind of a time saving. Whereas if you're doing that in person, if it's not automated, if it's not integrated, it can be 5 to 10 minutes per workflow that we've automated with our digital assistant. And I think that's really easy to stack up and say, look, we've saved your team, 10 hours this week or 10 hours in the last couple of weeks. And this is quite easy to quantify out based on like what you'd be paying, a staff member or the average cost of labor in that sense.
That's awesome, James. So I know you've been grinding on this for a couple of years now. We've got a relationship that goes back quite a few years. But as you look forward to the rest of 2025, what gets you really excited about the work that you guys are doing or the stuff that's happening in the industry? Like, where's your head at?
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a crazy start to the year already. Can't quite believe it's June. But I mean, one big focus for us is we've started attending quite a few trade shows this year, which has been awesome, connecting with new and existing customers. Was at VMX off the back of your recommendation there, Sean. So that was awesome. And then one thing that I'm really excited about is the speed at which we're kind of building out our functionality. So I think the way we've built ClinicWise and the development team that we have, we're able to really easily pull in, I think, new features and new functionality that you're perhaps seeing across other industries or that are coming into the space, like AI space. So I think for me, I'm just excited that we've built a really good platform. We're getting amazing feedback and we're delivering kind of ROI in that sense, but also that what we've kind of, won't share too much, but just kind of what we're looking at kind of bringing in and some of the utilizing tools outside the industry for the vet space.
So looking forward 5 years down the road, everything that you dreamed about worked out. And what is it going to look like? What's the software going to look like? What's the experience of the customers? Except you're on the huge boat and enjoying the exit strategy. But what does the software do?
Can always dream. I think for us, question number one is how can we, improve the customer journey, the pet owner journey. And I think for us, it's just having, really powerful platform that is a huge time saver for veterinary clinics. It's integrated to their PIMS. It's smart. It knows, what it's talking to the customer about, but also the pet owner is getting the experience that they expect, from a veterinary clinic. I think you see across so many other industries, the technology is just quickly advancing. You see, if you're booking with your dentist or you're going to a restaurant or anything like that, you're just seeing, really powerful technology coming out. And I think bringing that to the vet space, I think there's such a huge opportunity to A, reduce burnout for busy teams, and B, provide a, seamless experience for customers. So I think that's kind of where we're trying to position ourselves, and hopefully that, that sort of ethos leads to, success in what we're delivering.
Yeah, it's really cool, James. The entrepreneurial journey is a challenging one. What have you learned so far that you wish you knew when you started?
Yeah, so that's a good question. And I mean, one thing I think I was fortunate before ClinicWise, I was with a veterinary practice management software system. So I got to kind of see firsthand a lot of the grind, and that was a much bigger company when I left. So I saw a lot of growth throughout that journey, which I think I've been able to apply to ClinicWise. So I've been very fortunate through that. But yeah, I think being global, I think one of the hard things is, 5 a.m. starts, 11 p.m. finishes every night. So that's kind of, you're working outside the 9 to 5, but I think you just have to accept that. And it's something I enjoy, and I enjoy the drive. So
What's the one thing in the last couple of years of this journey that you look back and you see yourself and you want to tell yourself a couple of years ago, don't do this? Like the biggest thing that you were like, Jesus, I wish this didn't happen. What is the biggest thing that you're like, I wish I told myself that?
Um, it's a great question. For me, I mean, obviously I do it heavily into the sales side of things, and especially in my last role and current role, we deal with customers day in, day out. And I think it's easy to, when you're talking to a customer and you're doing a demo, to promise them the world. But one of the big things I've learned, and learned over the time, is you got to be completely upfront with what your product can do and timeframes for what you're building. Otherwise, you just set really bad expectations for customers that are coming on board, which you don't want to from the start. So I think that's a key thing, being super upfront with customers and just kind of, being honest and delivering good customer service. I think that's kind of one of the key things that's led to where we are at the moment with a really cool product.
Yeah, that's a key one, especially with a background in sales. It's really easy to, imagine that the feature will be done on time, on budget. That's another one that I've learned a lot.
Yeah, you almost convince yourself on the demo that, we'll by then. But yeah, I suppose it's good. You got to be true to yourself, and again, put the development team under too much stress. So keep everyone happy.
It makes sense. So lots of customers listen to this show, customers that might buy your product. So what's your ideal customer look like, and what are you going to do for them if they look you up and want to buy?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're completely global. So we've got customers in New Zealand, Australia, United States, the UK, South Africa, which has been exciting. So I think, we've been working with general practice and like small animal hospitals who are looking to really kind of just streamline that whole client side of things, reduce the stress on staff. But we've also been seeing some really cool work with urgent care facilities as well. So streamlining that patient client check-in process with, and integrating into the PIMS. So I think one of the cool things about our software is it's super flexible. And again, I'm not overselling anything, but it's been super flexible, and we've seen some really cool, unique workflows that we can build out with the AI side of things. So if you want your digital assistant to be talking to customers specifically about, a topic in your line of work, or it's an urgent care situation or anything like that, it can be trained to do so, and then trained to hand back to the front of house team, trained to take integrated bookings. So I think it's quite a malleable software, and I think that's where we provide a lot of value for clinics.
Amazing.
Well, there's two questions that we ask at the end of the show every time. And the first one of them is there YouTube, TED Talk, video, book that you recently read, watched, listened to, and it inspired you?
Yeah, so good one I had was it's a book called Endurance, and it's about a explorer called Sir Ernest Shackleton. So basically, I think it was in 1905 or something like that. They led the first expedition to cross Antarctica, and it's an incredible book. Basically, everything went wrong in that expedition. Their boat sunk, I think, the first couple of months in. There was a team of 28 stranded in Antarctica, and literally everything went wrong. You would imagine they wouldn't survive, but every single team, I think, member, the 28 on the boat survived. And yeah, there's a lot of kind of lessons in the book, and one of the one that stuck with me was just the kind of optimism and positivity, and how much that made an impact, I think, to the boat crew on that boat. And there's so many things went wrong, but they stayed eternally optimistic and managed to make it through. So if you get a chance, crazy read, but it's inspiring.
Yeah, it's awesome. I keep telling myself that all the time. Whether you think you're right or you think you're wrong, probably right. So yeah, that optimism helps. The last question is another innovator in the vet space that you think we should have on the show.
Yeah, someone I've met a few times actually in the UK and like what they're doing. His name's Alex Banks, and he works with it's a startup, but it's a pet insurance company called Pet Proactive. And they're doing some really cool work over here in the UK at the moment, and it's real data-driven kind of pet insurance. So working closely with the veterinary hospitals, the data and the practice management system to produce, really curated pet insurance and plans and things like that. I won't give the spiel because probably do it injustice, but it's cool. And it's cool to see kind of, that sort of innovator in the space.
Thank you so much for listening to the Veterinary Innovation Podcast. If you want to hear about our new episodes, please follow us on any social media channel. Also, you can check out our website at veterinaryinnovationpodcast.com. See you next week.